This is Sunday chart analysis, and first we're going to look at last week's charts and analyze and review them. Building on that, we're going to analyze charts and forecast. We'll come up with forecasts and predictions for the next week. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you get notification every time there's a new video. Hello, my name is Imi from iTradeAIMS.com, AIMS Stress-Free Trading. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new to the channel, I trade Forex on the hourly chart, and I trade the DAX on the M1 and the M5 chart every morning at London Open. I use my trading strategy that I have perfected since 2010. I've been trading it for 10 years and making it better and better. We have 3 simple indicators and 3 simple rules to make trades, and 1 clean and clear high probability trading setup. So what I'm going to look at is all of these charts that you can see, and we're going to go one by one and see what happened during last week, and then based on that we will be able to forecast and make predictions about the week ahead. So let's first look at chart number 1. Okay, so first chart is the Australian dollar. First, let's do the review for the week. So the week started on the 13th. It produced what we call a seed signal here, but I wouldn't have taken it because of the wave formation wasn't there. Then on the 14th of July, we have this cherry signal, which could have brought probably a small trade. After that, on the 15th of July, you can see we have a cherry signal followed by a seed signal. So this is the cherry signal, the one with the circle, and the one with dots is a seed signal. This is part of the hunt strategy. So the hunt strategy allows us to trade the setup 1 of the 5 times lower time frame without going to the 5 times lower time frame. So we have these 2 methods. One is our main method, which we call the setup 1. Videos about them are all over the place on the channel, so please, if you'd like to learn the setup 1 pattern, you can do that, or you can join us as premium member, where you'll have in-depth trading course about all of these setups. But anyway, so that's the seed signal. This seed signal was very profitable, so because your stop loss would be just 8 or 9, and it went probably 30, around 30 up. So it was a 1:3 profitable trade very easily. Now, looking at the whole week, you can see this is a wave 3, and that's a 4, that's 3 and 4. So this has actually broken into a possible wave 5. So if the market stays sideways and it kind of creates something like this during London session, we can still go long on that. Let's have a look at gold. So on the daily chart, gold has been, so this is a setup 1. Like I said earlier, if you wanted to know what setup 1 is, it's basically the pattern of this 3, 4 and 5. So we have this mechanism of, we have a flow chart where you look at the dot. So the first question you ask is there a dot? So this is the setup 1. So suppose you were looking at the chart on the 10th of June, you will have the blue dot. Then you will follow the flow chart. Flow chart will ask you about the 3 rules, which is about, one is about Gator, one about the box, and the other one is about the eWaves. So this would, you would have found this to be a perfect setup 1. And your entry is here, stop loss here, and you are looking for target zone 1, which we print like so. Start of the wave 3, peak of wave 3, bottom of wave 4. So this is the target for gold. Inside it, we could probably get some good setups on the hourly. This is kind of setting up. There are levels to the left here. I kind of create a box around it like this, touching that level and this. So this would be a potential problem here, but once it clears this, and if there's a setup, we can either take a setup 1 or the hunt signals on this. Okay, the next one is euro dollar. So euro dollar had a pretty good setup here on the 14th of July. Let's have a look at the daily chart. So the daily chart, I have the analysis on this. We are long from this candle here with stop loss here, and now it's gone up there. We took 80% of the profits out here, and now we're letting it run because this was a simple setup based on the wave 3. And then so if you go long here and stop loss here, you can just simply trail the green line on this. Meanwhile, because it is an uptrend, we'll be looking for long setups this next week because this one is trending. So if it goes sideways, let's suppose if it clears these levels, or if it just stays sideways inside this box, There could be an M15 or the hourly, or on the hourly chart, or even M30. It could be a setup one long during this week. If not, then you'll probably create another setup there. If it is going to do a bit of correction, then it will probably come down to this green line, which is also the box high here. So if you go there, then it can go and come and touch here, and we will see what it does from there. All right, so the next chart is the Euro Pound. Euro Pound has started with a blast on Monday. As you can see, there was this gap, and the gap was instantly filled. It went up, and then during that day and the day that followed, there was a very strong price move up, which created this wave 3. And guess what? There is right at the, well, it was slightly early, but at Frankfurt Open, you could have taken this cherry signal here, added on above that box, trail candles, and that's a pretty good setup. So that's another setup that we had on the Euro Pound. But then if you waited one more day, as we can see, so we have the wave 3, then AO crosses the 0 line, that's your wave 4. And you have the blue dot. You look at the Gator is sleeping inside a box. Purple is correct. We went long here, but got out around here, break even, or probably 5 or 6 pips. It was nearly break even over 3 pips. And then that allowed us to actually go long again on Friday, which required just 15 pip stop loss, and 30 was target. So 30 was hit, but it did actually go further up. This was a beautiful setup that happened last week. So what it can do, let's go to the daily chart. As you can see, it has bounced off those levels, and euro is gaining strength, whereas pound is kind of dropping. So this could actually produce another setup. So this definitely will be on our list, but we'll see if the price actually goes below these levels, then it will be a different story. So for example, if price has gone up and it's rejected there, it probably can come down and test these levels, but that would mean that euros are falling everywhere. Right, so the next one is pound yen. Pound yen on the daily chart. As you can see, it's this month it has a very low volatility. The range is just 200. So if you look at this month, you have 700 or 800 here. So the whole range of that month was around 800, whereas we are 19th of July, and this month's range, well, if you count this, then it's about 300. But if you count from the, let's say, the open only, or these lows, it literally is like 200. So it's a very low volatile time for the pound yen. So you won't expect many opportunities, trading opportunities on the hourly chart, as we can see on the 13th of July. And this is quite, it's not smooth. So the pound yen moves very smoothly. So if it's not moving smooth, we don't trade it. So we look for, if volatility picks up either this week or the week after, then we look for setups. Right now on the daily chart, it's a sideways market. If it breaks out up there, then that will change things. Next one is pound dollar. So the pound dollar is nearly the same thing it did like the pound yen, because that's what pound is doing. It has a lot of pressure, but at the same time, State Bank kind of reassuring the market that they are pouring more money into the market and stuff like that. So we have two very big issues for the British economy. One is Brexit and the other one is COVID-19. So both of them are playing a huge part on this currency, but we'll see how it goes. If it picks up right now, based on this hourly chart, I'm not looking for anything tomorrow, but during the week, if it breaks this range, if it breaks this range up there or below here, then we can probably look for some setups. So far, it's a mild uptrend. The next one is Euro Yen. Euro Yen it has an exciting kind of pattern on the daily chart. We have a clear 3 up and a very clear ABC down. It looked like, because it was so highly volatile, that this next wave should have gone very fast, but if you notice, this is very clean price move, like very, very strong, going up, even coming down. It was pretty clean and calm and clear. As you can see, 3 green candles, 4 red candles, 2 green, 4. It's very clear. But if you look at it now, it is making very small swings. So you have these candles that doesn't have high range. So it's not as pretty as it was here, but this is normal. On the hourly chart, like the euro pound, it went really strongly up on the 13th, then pulled sideways. This was a potential setup for, if you go to the M30 chart, then it will look even better. As you can see on the M30 chart that day, 14th of July, was a perfect setup one. So if you see something like this on the hourly chart with a nice clean wave 3 and price coming here, Gator not properly sleeping, and you don't have a fresh cross, go down to M30 chart and take that setup. So you'll take your entry here and stop loss here, and then you could have actually either turned back to the hourly chart and trailed the green line or the box, or you could have just put let's say a target zone 1 based on the M30 chart, which is here, and then your target would have been hit very nicely. You can put the same target zone even on the hourly chart. Normally I trade it, if I trade it, I'll just take it on the hourly chart, have my stop loss probably 20, 25 here, and then because target zone 1 is about 50 away, so I would have put my target point at 50, which would have been hit here. But on this occasion, I think I went here and trailed candles here, so it was like 32 pips. What it's going to do next for the week, well, it is in an uptrend, but these 3 candles are very pause type of candles. So we'll see if more selling starts from this point. As you can see, I think this level together with this level has become some kind of a support, but it's not finding more buy orders. So if it holds these levels, it could go further up, hitting those levels, and meanwhile on the hourly chart next week could produce. So if the euros continue to gain, then this pair might move. Next one is dollar yen. So the dollar yen on the daily chart is now going pretty sideways. It doesn't have anything strong like these going on. So on the hourly chart, you don't expect many trades when the market is like so. So July overall has been slightly lower volatility, but still, as you can see, the euros moved last week pretty nicely. See, all we need is 2 or 3 setups within a week, and that does the job. Actually, 5 trades a week on the hourly is pretty good, because that way you will be able to complete 1 batch of T20 every month, and you'll be able to assess your performance of your strategy and your discipline. Right. So dollar yen is going sideways. We'll see if volatility is hit. We'll trade that. Meanwhile, there was nothing for me last week. Next one is USDCAD. An interesting pair, but it has been going pretty strongly up during the COVID-19, then went sideways. I thought it was going to do a wave 5, but it didn't, because this was a nice setup one. It was squeezing. You see those stepping down patterns and sideways, so that was like creating a descending triangle here. I was expecting it to break here, but it didn't. It actually broke down, and when that's happened, we now have a setup one short. So if you look at the flow chart, you have a red dot, then you have a sleeping gator because green has touched the red. Purple is correct. You have AO across the 0 line, very close to 0 line. This is a setup one. Your entry would be here and stop loss up there. You would target this zone here. So let's suppose it's 335 pips away. So if I have 150 stop loss and 300 target point, that would do the trick. That's one. So if it breaks below this level, when it breaks below this level next week, if it did that, then on the hourly, we will get 1 or 2 trade setups during the week in the short direction. But meanwhile, we'll see what it does during the week. So the next one is a Swizzy connected, another dollar pair. So this is in a downtrend, mild downtrend. I was short from this signal, which is a cherry, right? So we went short on this, stop loss was up there, and then around here we moved stop loss to break even, which is part of the system, and that was exited break even. And as soon as we got out, price actually dropped quite a lot on that day. So it's still in a downtrend. We'll be looking for short setups in the week ahead on this pair. So that's all the major Forex pairs. And next I will look at some of the indices quickly, analyze some of the indices of the world quickly. So let's first look at the Australian the Australian 200. So all of the indices are kind of moving similarly, but there are some differences. So it's been consolidating, going sideways. So I wouldn't be highly interested in finding setups on this for now, because it's not really moving very, very quick. Let's go to German 30. Now German 30 has been, it was a very, very strong move here during May and early parts of June, but then it went sideways, and now it's kind of in a mild uptrend. So on the hourly chart, it will be producing more buy setups. Mind you, if it starts to correct itself from here and it starts coming down at these levels, then expect some really, really strong, good setup ones on the M15, on the M5, on the M1, on the hourly, all of the time frames below. UK 100, the FTSE 100, so the tumbling economy down here, and then not as good recovery as some of the US indices that we will see in a bit, but it has recovered kind of halfway below this level, and now we have a possibility of a breakout. So if there's some fresh good news, probably it will break out and go up. Okay, let's look at the US 30. So the US 30 last week had a beautiful setup one here, but it would be at a cost. So sometimes this happened as well. If you went long here, you would be out here, and then you'd go back in. So you will recover your 2R. So you'll make 1% loss, but then it will be followed by a 2% profit. So overall, you will end up with 1% profit. This is also part of the game. It happens. I actually went long on this and then exited for about, I think this candle got me out. Not here, because when it went up there, I brought my stop loss to just below the green line. So I had 0.5% loss on this. I thought it would go up, but it didn't. That's what it is. Nasdaq 100. So Nasdaq has been in a phenomenal uptrend, and it's no surprise because Nasdaq is built mostly of technology companies, and obviously Amazon and all of those companies have had great business during the COVID-19. So they were also, majority of the companies have lost money or business during this month, but some of the companies on which we relied, like companies like Zoom and all online selling and all of that stuff. So those companies have actually gone up, and those actually are part of the Nasdaq 100, and that is why it has been going up. It's actually hit all-time highs. If you go to the monthly chart, as you can see, it's just been going up and up and up, and these last 3 months it's actually doubled itself almost, because this drop brought it down to 6,000, right? And then it went and hit almost 11,000, so it's almost doubled. No wonder Jeff Bezos has gone from 100 billion to 178 billion. So that's some of the main indices that we looked at. So next I'd like to just look at some random other pairs. I won't go through all of them, but I will. Instead, what I'm showing you is only the ones that are interesting. So I would check all the major pairs, whether they're interesting or not. But if I have to, I will check them thoroughly. And the other pairs, which are Forex others, you can milk them with this setup. What we see is CAD yen on the daily. It has created a setup one right now. So let's see if we can keep that on the radar for the daily charts. But if I take it to the weekly chart, you'll find out that it's actually going against the wave. So that is kind of disturbing here. So we'll see what it does if it breaks out. And that's the beauty of the daily chart, is that you can actually wait for your pending order. So if it closes, if it breaks this level, suppose a candle breaks and closes up here, then we can go long there with stop loss somewhere here below the green line. This is EURCAD. If you look at the daily chart, it has broken this box, but it's still stuck with this level here. So if price stays above this, if it goes above there, we could have some long. So we see a clean 3 up. This is probably a 3 up with a 4 down, and that could be a 5 up. But if it breaks above those levels up here, then probably next week it will create. So again, it's building on the euro strength. So if euro continues to go up, this pair will go with it as well. Let's quickly look at the dollar against the Mexican, and it went up against that the Mexican currency, and then it went down. but now it's consolidating. So what we see is a 3 down and a 4. So chances are that it could break below this and go towards target zone 1. So if you were to trade this, your trade idea on the daily chart would be something like this: go short here, target point there or here. So we'll see how it goes. Let's look at some commodities as well. So that's the cocoa daily chart of that, and as you can see, there was a pretty good setup one over here and here on this. So if you go to the weekly chart, it's actually this kind of a zigzag that's happening over here. So not very clean on the weekly because there was a lot of sideways, but if you were looking at this, you would have a trade here and probably a trade here as well. Next one is coffee. So coffee has been, it has done a 345, some kind of. If you go to the weekly chart, as we can see, this it's gone up and down, so it's pretty sideways from that point of view. But we do have a seed signal, so this should give us something on the daily chart. As you can see, we have the 5 down, but this can be considered as a 3 down as well, because the 5 could have another one. So we have a setup one, but price has actually gone up. So this dot candle now has been cancelled, but we can still have a look at it and see if it breaks below this level, it could do another wave down. Let's look at cotton now. So cotton has been mildly going up, and right now we have a pullback. So I don't know if there will be probably a seed and a cherry signal here, but the AO has crossed zero line here, and it's been going sideways with multiple peaks. So I'll wait for it to basically go sideways like so, which will bring AO across to the zero line, and we probably have a setup one long, but we'll see how it goes. This is the chart of OJ, not OJ Simpson, but orange juice. It had a beautiful setup one here in April, and we have a seed signal here. That was very profitable as well. After that, it's kind of going sideways. So what you need is a tighter box with clean price action, and there could be a setup one long. Let's go to the weekly chart, and what we see on the weekly is that it's probably done 2 waves here, 3 and 4, 3, 4, 5. So it's probably going to go sideways or come down. Let's have a look at the sweet sugar. I don't know if this one is sweet, but I don't see any sweet signal right now. What we had was a sweet signal here. That's a cherry. Your entry would be triggered here. Stop loss of the, actually the cherry would be cancelled because this high was a higher than that. But if you looked at it a couple of days later, you could actually consider this as a 3-bar cherry, and then from that point of view you would go short here with stop loss up there, which would be a pretty good trade. Right now it's going sideways, so we have a 3 up and a 4 down. But if you go to the weekly chart, what you'll see it's a price down, so push down, pull up. So that means that there is a possibility that there might be a box here and it would go further down. So if it starts doing that, if it starts coming down, this could be a larger degree wave 5 down. So that's another one to look at. Let's have a quick look at BTC. Bitcoin is setting up as a setup 2. So we have a 3 up, a 4 sideways, and if it breaks above here, it will probably go to those levels, and if it crashes those, then we have another target. So that is my Sunday analysis, and based on this, taken some notes. You can take some notes as well, which currencies to look at in the week ahead, and which currencies and markets that we can track on the daily charts. Meanwhile, on a daily basis at 8 o'clock, I trade the DAX chart, and the DAX chart, you just need to analyze just for 10-15 minutes before the London Open. You don't need to know where it is on the daily chart, on the hourly chart. Well, hourly chart probably a little bit, but overall trend don't matter because we trade inside an hourly candle. So, you know, if you trade the M1 chart, every 60 minutes you have 60 candles, and 60 candles can produce 1 or 2 or 100 candles. Let's say 2 hours, 120 candles can create 2 or 3 setup ones, sometimes less, sometimes more, but inside them you also get hunt signals. So within 120 candles, if the market is moving, you'll definitely get 5 to 6 hunt signals as well. So that's my Sunday analysis, and now I'm going to do whatever I do during the weekend. It's Sunday now afternoon, and I've done my analysis early today. I know what to do and what to expect next week. I hope you like this video, and I hope you learned something from this. And if you did, please hit the like button. And if you have any questions, any suggestions, leave them in the comment sections, please. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. I hope you liked this video, and if yes, please hit the like button. Do you have any questions or ideas for upcoming videos? Then leave a comment. Also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you never miss any future videos. See you next time.